Oh, the rudiments, the bane of the drummer's life. We have to do them. We mightn't like doing them, but they're an essential part of playing drums. Virtually everything you play can be broken down into one of the rudiments. Of course, there's the classic American 26 rudiments, which we know, and then there's the Swiss rudiments, and then there's all the extensions. So there's hundreds and hundreds of rudiments, and we need to practice them. Now, one of the problems with practicing rudiments, they can be boring, let's be frank. You know, sitting there endlessly doing repetition of singles or doubles or flams or drags can drive you a little crazy, but they're essential. We have to do them. So one of the ways I've got around this is to create rhythmic challenges while I'm practicing the rudiments. You know, at the beginning, of course, you've got to get your basic technique, and you do have to sit down and no rhythm really, or just basic rhythmic cycles, and practice your technique, try to get your speed up, make sure your grip is correct, all that. We have to do these things. But then, after say, in my case 35 years, it sort of gets a little bit repetitive. So what I do is, I create exercises that are a little more cerebral. You know, rhythmic exercises that challenge me. So I'm looking at my rudiment, looking at my technique, which can never be forgotten, but at the same time, I have to concentrate to get through the exercise. So today I'm going to look at one of those, and it's based on the 4 basic flam rudiments, which is the flam tap, the flam accent, and the Flamma Diddle. And what I'm going to do is put it into a 3/4 context. In other words, when I'm playing each of these rudiments, they're all going to be related to 3/4. So I'll have a 4 pulse at the bottom, and we're playing the rudiment in an even 3 over the top. Now, I have to make the presumption you know those rudiments, the flam tap, the flam accent, and the Flamma Diddle. Presuming that you do, now I've got to make the presumption you know how to play 3/4. Now, I'm not going to make that second presumption. I'm going to show you how to do that, because you can use it in other contexts as well. It's a little rhythmic exercise and has a lot of benefits. But what I'm going to do is start by showing you how the 3/4 works, how to do it accurately with the metronome, how to count it, and then let's apply it to those flams. That way we keep yourself interested. You're not just sitting down doing mindless repetitions of flams, but really having to concentrate on the rhythm as well. And you'd be surprised how quickly time goes when you're doing these type of exercises. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is learn how to play 3/4. To get our accurate 3/4, we need to use our 8th note triplet as the basis of our rhythm. Now, as we know, 8th note triplets are 4 groups of 3, or 3 beats for each quarter note. So often counted, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 4 groups of 3. Now what we're going to do is those 4 groups of 3 are now going to be re-subdivided into 3 groups of 4. Let's have a listen how that sounds. 4 on the floor with the bass drum, or in this case the foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1. So you notice they fall together on 1, obviously. The second particle of the triplet on beat 2, in other words 2 trip, and then the third particle of the triplet on beat 3, 3 triplet. Let's have a listen again. I'll accent them so you can hear it better. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 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 1. Excellent method to get you started. Now, once you get that accurately, stop counting and listen to the relationship between your foot, the underlying pulse in 4, and your hands, the 3 above it. Let's listen. 1, 2, 3, 4. One of the things that helped me is listening to it as like a rhythmic melody. I hear them joining together, and then I hear bass clap, and then the reverse, you have a bass drum, and then clap bass, same relationship. Listen to that. So you hear it as a rhythmic melody. Now that's good to get you going that far, but you've got to hear them as two separate entities. You've got to be able to hear the 4 and you've got to be able to hear the 3. Now, one way I got around that is I would start counting the 4, keeping the 3/4 clap above it, and then alternate to the 3 count. So I count 4 for 2 bars, 3 for 2 bars, 4 for 2 bars, 3 for 2 bars, and try to hear them as individual rhythms or patterns within themselves. It's not an easy exercise, but let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Good exercise to do. Once you got that far, you should accurately be able to play 3/4, which of course can have a lot of implications and lots of different styles in playing. But today, as I said in the introduction, we're going to deal with the 4 basic flams. Flams, flam taps, flam accents and flam triplets, and put them in a 3/4 rhythm and create that exercise. So let's start. Let's go on to the single flam. So the single flams, 3/4. This exercise is probably the most important of them all, because from this we're going to build the other exercises. In other words, the flam taps, the flam accents and the flam triplets. The flams will always fall in this place. In other words, the 3/4 or the 1, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Make sure to accent them in each of the exercises, because then you can really hear the 3 against 4. So because it's a 3-beat exercise, or there's 3 of them in each bar, we're going to alternate each bar. So it'll take 2 bars to resolve. So the first one will be like flam, 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 and then reverse flam, flam, flam. To keep me honest, I'm going to use the metronome. I've set the metronome at 105 beats, which is not too fast. Of course, the idea of this is not just about building speed, though you can in time. You've always been told, and I'll tell you again, never sacrifice accuracy for speed. So while you're playing this exercise, concentrate on the quality of your flam and movements, etc. And also try to stay rhythmically accurate. Okay, I'll put on the metronome and we're going to play the single flam 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember the account? 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1. And that's our 3/4 with single flams. We're going to move now onto the flam taps. But remember, always keep the flams accurately on the 1, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4. Okay, let's move on to the flam tap. With the flam tap, we add the tap to the flam, as you know. So that tap falls on the next triplet after our flam, which is falling on the 3/4. In other words, it's falling on the 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. One of the important things to do is not to rush that tap. If you do, it'll become like a 16th and then not be as accurate. It'll take 2 bars for us to resolve, since there's 3 of each rudiment in each bar. So we go right, right, left, left, right, right. Second bar is left, left, right, right, left, left. The flam at the beginning. That's our flam taps. Again, we'll do it with the metronome. And this is our flam taps. Let me just put on the program first. There you go. Here we go. Flam taps. 1, 2, 3, 4. it's important to make sure that your flam, the original single flam, stays in the same place, the 3/4. Okay, let's add another triplet onto that and we'll go on to the flam accents. Okay, with the flam accents, as I said, we add another beat onto that again. So now we have 3 strokes. Flams are in the same place, 1, 2, 3, 4, but now we have 3 strokes onto it. Metronome again, and here we go. Flam accents, flams 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there you go, you have 3 strokes, flam, make sure it's accented on the 1, the trip and the let, 3/4. And now finally we'll move on to the Flamma Diddle. Okay, the Flamma Diddle, or the Flam Paradiddle, or Flam Paratriplets I've heard it called as well, uses all the triplets, except now we're using paradiddle sticking. Flam will fall in the same place as usual, and it's Flam Paradiddles in triplets. Here we go with the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the Flam Paratriplets, or whatever you want to call them. Okay, in the final exercise, what I'm going to do is use all those flams, flam taps, flam accents, and flam paradiddles in one exercise, like a flam pyramid, for want of a better word. In other words, we're going to start with the flams, move on to the flam taps, flam accents, flam paradiddles, and then come back down. I'm going to play each one 4 times before I move on to the next, and then come down. Hope you found that exercise interesting and maybe invigorate your flam practice a little bit, give you a little bit of a rhythmic challenge, help work on your technique. That's an excerpt from a new book that I have coming out, which has a lot of different exercises. In fact, this chapter, the 3/4, this is only one part of it. We applied this to jazz and jazz coordination, and also to Afro-Cuban rhythms. There's many other type of rhythmic concepts and ideas and techniques involved in the book. It will be available in the next couple of months. I'll keep you posted. If you're interested, please go to my website, conorguilfoyle.com, sign up, and then you'll get notification when it's available. There's also free lessons on the site that you might find useful, jazz exercises, transcriptions, etc. But in the meantime, till I see you the next time, thanks for watching.